Hello everyone, my name is Karond and welcome here for yet another Buddyhood Brawl League Season 3 game, this time from Qualifier League 2. We are going in to watch Quist take on Nanashi. Quist, who we are following from his perspective, is playing as the Undead. Nanashi is playing as the Witch Hunters. We have Horrors of Mordheim. One warband here is going to be divided up into 3 strike teams, most likely only 2. And the other one is not even going to deploy, who's going to be scattered randomly. Quist has marked for that. Nanashi has Wordstone Rush. It's going to be a cool game. This is the first game for both of these players in the league. So we don't expect too much here. It's going to be crucial to try and get at the other individual's idol if you can. You're also going to try and minimize the casualties. That's also always the case, but you can take a few of the henchman losses here, but you can absolutely not afford to lose the leader. Just going to see how that plays into it. We see that Quist has opted for 3 ghouls in his warband. Gonna see what Nanashi has opted for with his witch hunters. It's all about what you choose for the henchman at this point, since you more or less have to start with your starting hero, unless you start with a 4th henchman and then switch him out after 2 PvPs. Some people have done that. Could have been done with the Undead as well. The Drag is not a particularly strong hero, but for the Witch Hunters, the Templar Knight, you will want to keep him since he's very good at what he does. Quist is coming into this game as a favorite. He is coming from the Mordheim main community. He is expected to reach the upper division and top 4 in Qualifier League 2. Nanashi is coming in as a beginner. We don't really know his experience with the game, but he's never played in the Buddyhood Brawl League before. He has not played too much PvP, and everyone is expecting him to finish very low here. Hopefully he can overturn that and turn some heads while doing it. The Witch Hunters is not the best warband in this particular format right now, but it is a middle of the pack kind of warband. It's definitely better than the Undead. Undead is probably the worst warband. The only thing that Undead has going for them is the Vampire, really, especially early on. Just gonna see if Quist can leverage that. He can provide a lot of power with his Terror Shanks. Nanashi can counter that if he wants to, if he brought any Flagellants who are immune to the Terror Shack, or indeed the Templar Knight. So it's going to be a main tactic. Hopefully Nanashi is not too distracted going towards picking his objective. The objective is only worth a single point. It's not going to be too influential here in the final rankings. Remember that each win gives you 3 points automatically, and then you get +1 point for each kill that you do. So we see a Flagellant here already. So Nanashi definitely has at least 2 options to tie down the Vampire reliably. Remember that Nanashi is scattered all over the place, so he's going to try and regroup his warband into one coherent team. And the same is going to be true for Quist, who wants one of his ghouls to connect with the other one. You can see that there is quite a bit of distance between the 2 Flagellants here of Nanashi, who's opted for 2 Flagellants. Already he is striking out on a different course here than most of the Witch Hunter players, who seem to have gone all Zealots. But Nanashi is so far 2 Flagellants, showing a very unique kind of warband here. Of Quist, we cannot really say the same. Many of the Undead players seem to have gone for ghouls, being the sensible choice since they are much faster. I can do quite a bit in the early game. And the Undead this is probably why they are the worst warband in this format, because, you know, the zombies need the Necromancer to work, and the Necromancer is the 3rd hero unlock, and you really don't want to get a Necromancer at that point. because he's not going to get up to a really high level. He's probably going to end up at level 6 before the playoffs, or 7 if he's... it might even be 8 if he's really pushing it, but that's just not going to be enough. And he also has a fierce competition with the Globadier, who's always powerful, and the Doomweaver, as well as, of course, the Lad's Got Talent, which is just another reason why the Undead is going to lag behind as we go further and further in here. Everyone is going to be more or less forced to pick up a Lad's Got Talent hero to keep up. They're so powerful in this format. And the Undead are screwed over here once more, since the only thing they can do with Lad's Got Talents are ghouls. And ghouls are definitely the worst henchmen in the game, and they are probably the worst Lad's Got Talent hero in the game as well. So the odds are really stacked against them. They need to get good results early on and then see what they can do to try and build something that's playable. But they're going to play in an uphill battle for most of their games later on. There are a few players playing as the Undead. Let's see, who have we seen? We've seen Bobby Boyd Fried and Chris Shue, who has lost their 2 opening games as the Undead. Then you have Dig. I think he has 2 victories and 1 win at this point, so he's doing really well for him. And then it's Quist. There are 4 players for each warband in this league. So Quist is probably the Undead hope here. He's the player that is thought to do the best out of all of the Undead players. This is the only one expected to reach the upper division, so gonna see what he can do with that. Been a bit unlucky here. It's really difficult to pick up the marks for death when you have 2 targets this early on, considering the morale loss. Take a look at the top left corner of the screen and we do see the actual morale. 44 for Quist, 56 for Nanashi. So Nanashi can lose quite a few units here. He's definitely gone with some leadership on his units. And I think that's really where the Flagellant's strengths shine here. I mean, they are immune to psychology, yes, but one of their main strengths is that they can get such a high leadership to help support the rest of the warband. And that's something that some players don't really realize. Many players might look at the Flagellant and feel like, oh yeah, he's immune to psychology, so why would I ever pick leadership? It won't help him whatsoever. And that's true. The only thing leadership will do for the Flagellant is giving him access to leadership-like skills, for example, insult. But it does help strengthen out the rest of the warband, who might not want to focus too much on leadership, but more on, for example, alertness or intelligence. And getting the total morale up is going to be very big in this format. You don't want to rout. It's a friendly game exhibition every time you play a PvP. So the tougher you are to rout, the better. And that means getting more and more leadership. And that's where the Flagellants come in, since they can get leadership all the way up to 15 for just a single henchman, and that's really, really good. And you don't really have anything else to spend it on anyway, so might as well do that. They cannot get intelligence up to a reasonable level, and they started 1, so it's a lost hope already. And alertness, they can only get it up a little bit, but there's really not any kind of alertness skill that they truly benefit from. Just pushing all that down into leadership, which they start at 5 already, compared to 3 for most henchmen. It's going to be crucial. See what Ash can do. So we see a Zealot and 2 Flagellants. That could be an Archer Flagellant already, a dedicated one. Which honestly, they go well either way you build them. They're a little bit better at melee. It starts with 4 weapon skill and only 3 ballistic skill, but it's doable and they can turn out to be decent archers by the end. Same can be said for the Witch Hunter Captain, starting with 5 weapon skill and 5 ballistic skill. Even the Templar Knight can even go ranged, but he starts with a lot of weapon skill, 8 and 3 ballistic skill. Might not be the best option for him. See if Nanashi can pull his team together before Quist can manage to get a charge off. Alright, so he jumped up or climbed up and managed to get injured, I assume. It's not too bad entering into an ambush stance here. He has the same amount of movement as the ghouls, and the vampire who is in heavy armor will have only 5 movement, same as the Dreg. Taking a bit of damage here as well. This little ghoul. Every piece of all the wounds here, they do matter at this point. And this orienting veil, that's not that great. It's dodge and parry, right? Yeah, it is. Nanashi talked to me earlier in this game about maybe getting a Witch Hunter hero instead of a second Templar as soon as it unlocks, which will be probably after his second PvP. I told him I didn't really recommend that. I think the Templars are easier to play and much better, but he might go for that anyway and see what he can do with it. It's going to be interesting to follow him in the games to come. Might be turning out to be a bridge fight if Quist wants to move up here. Yeah, that's a really strange position to be in. He could get shot from there. And I don't think that's a really good ambush position. It's probably one of those positions where you can just run into him from behind this wooden beam. Might be coming a shot here from the Witch Hunter Captain. Lots of people do build them as ranged heroes. I mean ranged leaders, and why wouldn't you? They are excellent at that role compared to pretty much any other unit in the Witch Hunter roster. And we see that he was moving around with crossbow pistols. Wow, that's a tricky location to be in, with plenty of seconds to spare. Can he fire from here? Can he reach the goal? If he gets to the window. Yes, he can fire at him with 91% hit chance. And you see that? Just one short of scoring a critical hit, 7% chance. Let's see if he does that again. Very nice, 26 damage. Good opening salvo here by Nanashi. Gonna prompt a response by Quist somehow. I'm saying that he's a good ranged leader because he has one more blue pill than the rest of the heroes. So he can move about a bit more, keeping himself safe. Having him as ranged is the safest option for him. And that's often overlooked here is that he has 16 ballistic skill. And that's compared to 12, I believe, for the Witch Hunter hero. Meaning that he's the absolute best ranged option that they do have. Especially if you want to use gunpowder weapons or indeed the crossbow pistols. Who might be the absolutely best ranged weapon in the entire game. And that's an interesting thing to do. Using Humble Servant here, it would boost his initiative up, so he could potentially get 2 attacks in a row against certain enemies here. Moving up 54, yeah, it's only good if it's gonna engage the Templar, because then he could get 2 attacks in a row and possibly kill the Templar. See a bow here, is he able to shoot? He's trying to... I don't think he has quite the range. Might not have the movement to get up here either. Remember that there is backtrack 2 in this league. Meaning that you can go back 2 steps and pick up the blue pills again and retry. Can only pick up... go back twice though. To recreate. Yeah, going up by the bridge is not such a bad idea, but is there a bridge to the right side here? Yeah, there is actually. If you jump up here and then you could go across. But do you want to do that? I mean, yeah, you could do that, but you need to not stay out in the open here because you're gonna get shot at, Quist, if he does that. Okay, he's out of blue pills. Yeah, I feel this is a mistake by Quist. Definitely a mistake. Why isn't he just moving back to get that second blue pill and moving inside instead? There we go. Okay, that's bold. Should have waited inside and went up in the next turn. Can he be shot from there? I think he can. So another unit here being exposed, also taking 9 damage, setting him up nicely to be shot at as well. Let's say the Templar is doing it, but he's probably just moving in to try and protect the 2 ranged units near the house. And this is whom Ash wants to engage with. The Templar Knight. We don't see Nanashi going for his objective, which I think is good. Right in front of the trap. We'll see if anyone turns around the corner. Last unit to move here, he used a delay previously. It's gonna be nice to have the level 0 warband games out of the way. This is the second last game to be played with a level 0 warband. It's newly created. The only 2 players that are left to enter the tournament are Slavier and Bubs in Qualifier League 3. After this game is done with. And that means that we are gonna see them expand to a 4th henchman, and then after the second PvP, gonna expand to the second hero slot as well. So we're gonna get more options and more intense fights. Losing out on time, 90 seconds has passed for that Templar. So this is the ghoul that was shot up. What is his plan now? He can't go up because the other ghoul blocked his path. Trying to be a little bit sneaky here. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think you can actually get up from there. No, you cannot. Needs to be a stair, some stairs. But at least this is an option to get up from behind here when all of the melee units are going to be engaged. Might be moving towards the front lines as well. We've only had 2 players so far in all of the opening games that have managed to keep a clean sheet, and that is Doc playing Skaven, I believe he does. And then you have Holpoker, who's playing as Cult of the Possessed. Those are the only 2 players out of the 24 here that have managed to keep a clean sheet in their first opening game. And 20 players have already played, so after these 2 played, 22, and only 2 have made it. So it's quite a feat here to manage to keep a clean sheet this early on. It's going to be an Overwatch here, taking a little bit more damage on another ghoul. And we do see another unit here to the left, probably being in ambush and probably going to charge out right now. Yeah, there we go. Templar Knight. Is he going to do a counter-attack? He's going to face attack. He does. Lands a Disease Carrier. Hopefully that is going to reduce his overall initiative. If it did, it could have lowered him below the Vampire. That was not to be the case. I think Quist is trying to launch the Vampire with Humble Servant to get 2 attacks in a row here against the Witch Hunter Templar. Witch Hunter Templar. Nice save by me. Bit unlucky. Doesn't look too well for this ghoul. You see the Flagellant there in the back. There is one more like him. Gonna prevent another blue pill for someone. If he's lucky, he could also score a critical hit this early on. So he had 7% chance on one of the ghouls earlier. I mean, could happen. Could definitely happen. Gonna see a charge by Nanashi's Flagellant. I think. Yeah, he seems to be a bit crazy. You can see that. An ambush here is not totally bad. It's gonna give him a second layer defense. Yeah, the other Flagellant can charge though, so here we go. Yeah, I don't know what Nanashi is doing here. You don't even necessarily want to charge. You can just move in and get a higher chance of hitting. Is he moving back to protect his lines? Yeah, he might be. So let's see if he starts. Is he going to use Humble Servant or not? Triggers the ranged. Good for him. Is he the one that you really want to attack here? 6% chance of scoring a critical hit. Yeah, I think he should go and give Humble Servant to the Vampire now. Don't reload here. He would also conveniently go above the Zealot here, so it would be a good choice. Alright, so he's preparing for the next round instead and going in and supporting. Hopefully he has something to support. That it's not just all kinds of characters here holding the units up. We see that Nanashi takes a 1-0 lead here. One ghoul is dead. And Nanashi also preparing here, switching weapons. Does he want to go over here now? It goes just faster going across the bridge, doesn't it? It's going to be an inconvenience to Nanashi. Now you could lock down the drag if you want to. Doing a bit of damage. It's going to be... Yeah, we're gonna see how if we can keep this unit alive. Might be more difficult now, going in without a shield. And it's also, since he switched weapon here, it's gonna drop down, so the Vampire is gonna go in 2 rounds in a row here against the Templar, so why do that? And just go in and kill the Templar. He's gonna be important to kill. See if he can land some hits there. Wow, nice parry. But remember, he started out with a sword, so that's +5 initiative. The halberd is -5, so it's gonna go down 10 initiative. So he's gonna be last in the coming round, meaning that the Vampire is gonna get 2 more rounds of attack. And then the Dreg is gonna get 2 rounds of attacks as well. So this Templar, he's probably doomed. Oh, he didn't go down in the initiative? I wonder why. Maybe he had a hammer on. I thought he had a sword. If he had a hammer, he would have stayed the same. Yeah, very nice parry. This is where the Flagellants come in, immune to the Terror Shanks. Not as lucky with the dodge roll. Yeah, this could look a bit bleak for Quist. Might see a Nanashi victory here. That was very important. Very, very important for Quist. What can he do with the ghouls now? They need to come in here and support somehow. Yeah, he needs to climb out and climb up and charge the archer or the leader here. He can do that. Let's go out and go to the right. Yeah, there's nothing here. Go to the right here. It's gonna cost you 2 more blue pills, and then climbing up, and well, 1 more blue pill. Oh yeah, I can actually go around that. That was even better. Saving a blue pill here. Climbing up. Probably try and keep down the Zealot. I think that would have been a good choice, and get at the leader later. Or you can just double team on the leader, but misses that attack. Remember that there is a ghoul by the bridge as well, and he's gonna come in here and support somehow. Very nice dodges and parries here by both players right now. Both of them are a bit lucky, and this is the kind of thing to turn a game around. Hopefully he has a secondary weapon here. He could disengage the bullets, minus 2 red pills. Yes, he can switch. It's the one-handed weapon, so he can do 2 attacks. But he might be able to kill his second ghoul. No, it is not. It's two-handed here, so he only gets 1 attack off. But he has 2 red pills right now, and if he manages this dodge here, remember that he has the special passive ability, which means that he will get a second attack if he manages to succeed at the dodge attempt here. Because he gets a discount on his attacks by 1 red pill. And since his second attack will cost 3 red pills, if he has 2 left over, and manages to dodge, he's gonna get another attack. Wow, look at the dodge rolls in this game. Let's see what the Templar can do here before he dies. A bit lucky here that the Dreg is not going right before him. That was really, really lucky. This is why you try and when you do switch weapon, you're trying to switch to a higher initiative so you get an advantage instead of risking to get a disadvantage. Wow, this is a really nice hit. So Nanashi takes a 2-0 lead here and only needs 1 more kill. It can be pretty much anything here. And then he will be forced to take a route test, Quist. So could be quite an upset this. Nanashi doing well for himself. Can he kill off the Templar now? He needs to land both hits, and no, the 19 parry comes to the rescue and saves him once again. Once again. Imagine if he had boosted the vampire there. But no sense to mourn that. Failed the dodge roll here. Might see Nanashi getting a victory in this turn here. Might see the vampire going down, failing the dodge roll, but you know that's gonna be another flagellant coming in here. And there we go! Quist is going to be forced to take a route test, which he's unable to pass, so it's going to be GG. Nanashi is going to take the victory here, but this is going to be a 3-0 or a 4-0 win. Let's see. Going up to 4-0. And that's gonna end the game because he hit the morale threshold. Alright, big congratulations to Nanashi. What an upset. I hope you liked watching this game. And hope to see more of Nanashi in the future, as well as of Quist. Thank you for watching the game. And see you in future games. Farewell.